Hamas authorities are reportedly working with mediating countries in order to reach an agreement and extend the ceasefire. In Peru, the National Justice Board launched disciplinary proceedings against Prosecutor Patricia Benavides, who stands accused of heading a criminal organization. An Osprey U.S. military plane crashed off the coast of Japan. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from the TeleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. Ghazi Hamdan, a member of Hamas Politburo, says the group has been working very hard with mediating countries in order to reach a compromise and extend the ceasefire. Hamas expressed optimism that the truce will be extended, as a member of the Political Bureau said they were ready to release more hostages for the extension of the ceasefire, while they are in contact with Qatar and Egypt to see how this operation will be managed. It is hoped that this truce can be implemented today and that 2 more days of extension can be reached. Analysts say the ceasefire negotiations have entered a pragmatic phase involving various mediators and stakeholders, with Hamas reportedly signaling a willingness to extend the pause in fighting. 30 Palestinian women and children were released from Israeli jails, and 10 Israelis and 2 foreigners were freed by Hamas. As the humanitarian ceasefire between Israel and Hamas enters its final day of extension, many are wondering what will happen next. At the same time, both sides have expressed their willingness to extend the truce. For more details, we have Nur Harasin from Gaza.
It's Wednesday, the last day of the extended truce, and Palestinians are wondering if this truce will be extended again. Yes, there is a very intensive international pressure on both Hamas and Israel to extend this humanitarian truce. Hamas, from its side, said that they are open to extend their truce from their side, while Israel said the same thing, that they are open to extend 1 day of truce in exchange of 10 Israeli hostages from Hamas. To Hamas, the truce, each day of truce, means the release of 30 Palestinian prisoners, the allowing of hundreds of humanitarian aid into the Gaza Strip. So yes, this is significant and very important. We will wait to see what will happen in the upcoming days. This brokered truce by Egypt, Qatar, and the United States might have a good ending with the extent of this truce, but there is a very important question. Will Hamas be able to locate more captives? Because at the beginning of this war and on the 7th of October, Hamas said that some of the hostages are actually not with Al-Qassam Brigade. Some of them are with the Islamic Jihad and other Palestinian factions. Nur Harasin, TeleSUR, Gaza.
On Tuesday, rescue crews recovered 160 bodies in the past 24 hours from under rubble on streets in Gaza. WAFA correspondents in Gaza reported that rescue crews have so far relied on manual and primitive methods to dig out the bodies in light of the lack of machinery and equipment to remove the rubble. Non-final data indicate that about 6,500 missing persons are still under the rubble, or their fate is still unknown, including more than 4,700 children and women. Since the start of the temporary humanitarian truce on Friday, rescue and ambulance crews, as well as citizens, have been trying to recover as many bodies as possible with whatever capabilities they have. The United Nations General Assembly passed a resolution on Tuesday urging Israel to withdraw completely from the Golan Heights, Syrian territory occupied since 1967. The draft resolution, entitled the Syrian Golan, obtained the support of the majority of the member states with 91 votes in favor, while 7 countries rejected the initiative and 62 countries abstained from voting. The text of the initiative, admitted annually for more than 50 years, urges Israel to withdraw completely from this occupied territory to the pre-June 4, 1967 defend borders and to comply with the relevant Security Council resolutions. The measure also qualifies as null, illegal, and without effect the decision of Tel Aviv taken in 1981 to impose its laws and jurisdiction over the Golan Heights. The fifth edition of the Forum for Job Opportunities concluded in Damascus with the participation of more than 120 companies from various fields of expertise, an event aimed at opening new work horizons for young Syrians suffering the aftermath of long years of war and Western economic pressure. Asian One News with the details.
The forum, sponsored by the Syrian Ministry of Social Affairs and Labor, sought to ensure job opportunities for all sectors of Syrian society, particularly for young graduates in various fields such as education, medicine, engineering, industry, chemistry, food, technology, insurance and shipping, among others.
This event saves us time and efforts and represents available help to young people, especially those who are beginners, who do not know where to go and have no contacts, so that in this venue they find various job opportunities and learn new things. They even have the opportunity to improve their professional skills in forums and events like this one.
Through this forum, we seek to guarantee the maximum number of job opportunities for recent graduates in order to include them in the labor market, as well as to help companies and enterprises to find specialized and active personnel for the available vacancies, in addition to guiding and helping young job seekers through qualification and training workshops that we develop in this forum.
The event provides a platform for direct contact between business owners and job applicants, a space that contributes to attracting cadres of different specialties in order to qualify and train them to be part of the revitalization of the economic activity and the process of recovery and reconstruction of the country.
Here we promote the culture of searching for a job and ways to improve the work skills of individuals so that they have a better chance to find a job in the current difficult economic circumstances that the country is going through. Because we are in the post-war recovery phase and every person must develop their skills to find a job and go on in the new stages of their lives.
This forum is an opportunity for us to get to know the different companies up close and to be aware of all the job opportunities offered by these companies in the different fields, such as communication, press, education, and others, because all the participating companies are here to help us achieve our career aspirations.
Syria suffered great economic losses due to the terrorist war and the economic blockade imposed by foreign countries. In order to overcome the damage, the nation's authorities are relying mainly on the youth, who in forums like this consolidate their active participation as the driving force of the Syrian labor market.
Let's now take a short break, but remember you can join us on TikTok at TeleSUR English, where you will find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. Other stories coming up. Stay with us. Welcome back from the South. Peru's National Justice Board initiated on Tuesday a process against National Prosecutor Patricia Benavides, who, according to an investigation by anti-corruption prosecutors, heads a criminal organization. The official will be subjected to disciplinary proceedings by the highest body of the Peruvian judiciary, the National Justice Board, for alleged influence peddling stemming from the investigation of the Special Prosecutor's team against corruption in the government and the police. The revelations have led to several calls for Benavides to resign or at least take a leave of absence while the serious allegations against her are investigated, which has steadfastly refused to do. In Panama, citizens celebrated with peaceful protest the legal decision that declared as unconstitutional the subsidiary contract of a Canadian mining company and the Panamanian state. Celebrations were replicated in different parts of the country, and many of the roads that had been closed for weeks have now been cleared. Lawyers also affirmed that the contract not only violated ecological standards but also fundamental public administration norms that establish due legal process. In this sense, the ruling is expected to end the national crisis and make international arbitration possible for the concessionaire Panama Mining Company, a subsidiary of the Canadian Mining Company. For his part, President Laurentino Cortizo affirmed that after receiving the formal communication of the ruling, it will be published in the official gazette and the closure of the mine will begin. In Brazil, transport workers strike in rejection of privatization of the service in the state of Sao Paulo. Brazilian state subways workers, accompanied by teachers and other public sectors, began a 24-hour strike to denounce the transportation privatizing projects announced by the regional administration. The demonstration is against the privatization policy of the basic sanitation company of the state of Sao Paulo, the House Foundation and lines of the Metropolitan Company, and the Paulista Metropolitan Transport Company. Demonstrators demand the abolition of the initiative to cut 10 million reals from the annual budget earmarked for the education of minors. In Venezuela, national authorities led an act in defense of the Essequibo in the state of Zulia. An important event was held at the Baral Theater in Maracaibo, led by the Venezuelan Vice President, Delcy Rodriguez, together with the Governor of the state of Zulia, Manuel Rosales. During the event, Rosales condemned the silence maintained by the international community in the face of the actions carried out by the government of Guyana, which create a negative indication for the sovereignty of any nation.
That is why the consultative referendum was called, so that Venezuelan men and women could be heard on a matter of vital importance for the life of the Republic, such as our territorial integrity. They must inherit the same territory that we
The Vice President of Venezuela, the Executive Vice President of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, assured that they have a responsibility of bequeathing the future generations the territory they received from the liberator Simón Bolívar.
If we have any responsibility here, is not to leave our sons, our daughters, and our future generations a mutilated map. They must inherit the same territory that we inherited from our liberation father Simón Bolívar, and for whom today we give our life. If we have any responsibility here, is not to leave our sons, our daughters, and our future generations a mutilated map. They must inherit the same territory that we inherited from our liberation father Simón Bolívar, and for whom today we give our life. If we have any responsibility here, is not to leave our sons, our daughters, and our future generations a mutilated map.
The leadership from the U.S. Army 1st Security Force Assistance Brigade and the Guyana Defense Force met November 27th and the 28th in Guyana. In an official statement, the U.S. Embassy in Georgetown said the U.S. and Guyana Defense Forces discussed upcoming engagements to include strategic planning sessions and processes to enhance both countries' military readiness and capabilities to respond to security threats, adding that since 2022, the SFAB has conducted several joint training exercises with the GDF to strengthen their capacity and capability at the tactical and operational levels. The SFAB advisor stated, "We are thankful for the opportunity to train with the GDF as our partners and friends. We look forward to deepen the partnership in the weeks and months to come." GDF Lieutenant Colonel Andy Pompey said, "As we witness the positive outcomes of the training, we are confident that the benefits will be enduring, impacting not only our forces' operational capabilities but also the professional growth of individual members." Venezuela is going to the polls again, this time to give the people a say in the territorial dispute with Guyana over the Essequibo area. Here are some further details.
The Guyanese and Venezuelan media publish information about the controversy over the Essequibo almost every day. But what has happened in the last 2 years to put this issue in the priority agenda of both countries? Let's review this contest on the vote next December 3rd. The claim of the Essequibo territory has been an historical demand for Venezuela. The debate has grown in the last years after the judicialization of Guyana in the International Court of Justice. In Venezuela, a social movement and actions of the parliament have been implemented, which resulted in the request of a consultative referendum to the electoral power to ask for actions for the defense of the Essequibo territory.
To carry out this referendum with all the people of Venezuela, that all the people of Venezuela participate in this new electoral party. And that from that 3rd of December, the only voice of Venezuela will come out saying and shooting the song of Venezuela is burned in the Essequibo.
The Venezuelan National Electoral Council approved 5 questions related to the rejection of international treaties and the actions taken by Guyana, as well as the endorsement of the actions and legal reasons of the Venezuelan state, and poses a 5th question of specific actions of the territory.
What the people are being asked to do then is not to decide whether it is ours or not. That is ours. What we are really asking for is their support or their decision in any case on policies to be carried out regarding this matter.
The electoral power has set the schedule for the process, which includes audit, electoral campaign, simulation, and electoral event until the voting. More than 20 million people are able to vote, and the campaign begins on Monday, November 6th. The governing party announced 335 rallies throughout the country, one for each municipality, calling for the approval of the referendum.
We will lend a hand to those who support the Venezuelan opposition as long as they are purchased for Venezuela. We will lend a hand to those who think different or those who do not want to get involved in politics. This is not a matter of politics. It is a matter of life or death. It is a matter of self-respect or strength or sovereignty.
The referendum has triggered many reactions from the President of Guyana, the United States, and other regional multilateral organizations. For Venezuela, it is a peaceful way to ratify its right over the territory.
TeleSUR, Caracas, Venezuela.
We have a second short break coming up, but before we invite you to join our WhatsApp community for our English-speaking audience, you can scan the QR code that is right now on screen to join directly and share the link to reach more people. Constant news coverage of Latin America and the Caribbean as well as the rest of the world. Stay connected and informed with TeleSUR. For a short break, don't go away. Welcome back from the south. On Wednesday, a U.S. military plane known as Osprey aircraft crashed off the coast of Japan. The Japan Coast Guard has been mobilizing ships and aircraft to search for it, reporting that the Osprey aircraft had 6 crew members. An emergency management authority in the Kagoshima region where the accident occurred unfolded. The police had received information that the plane had been spewing fire from the left engine. The aircraft had departed from the U.S. Naval Air Base at Iwakuni near Hiroshima, bound for the military base at Kadena. The Osprey, jointly produced by the U.S. aircraft Boeing manufacturer and the helicopter Bell specialist, has been the subject of controversy due to multiple fatal accidents since it was put into service in 1989. Senegal's military has seized more than 3 tons of cocaine from a ship moored off the coast in one of the country's largest drug holds, the Navy said Tuesday. A Navy patrol boat seized nearly 3 tons of pure cocaine aboard a ship intercepted 93 miles off the coast of Dakar, the Navy posted on X, formerly Twitter. Naval authorities said there were 10 crew on board, one of whom was Senegalese. The vessel was then escorted to a naval base in Dakar, where it arrived on Tuesday for identification and logging of the seized products. The UN body says between 2019 and 2022, at least 57 tons of cocaine were seized in West Africa or en route to the region, primarily in Cape Verde, Senegal, and Benin. Long considered a simple transit zone for drugs, this area has become a region of high consumption, according to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. In Burkina Faso, hundreds of rebels were killed as they tried to seize a town in northern part of the country in one of the largest clashes in recent years in the West African nation. According to state media, more than 3,000 fighters tried to take control of the Jibo town near Mali's border on Sunday. The rebels reportedly launched a massive attack on the town from various fronts as they tried to seize it during an hours-long assault, which also targeted a military camp. It was not immediately clear how many civilians or security forces were killed. Approximately half of Burkina Faso is outside government control. The landlocked country has been ravaged by rebel attacks that have killed thousands and displaced more than 2 million people, further threatening the stability of the country that had 2 coups last year. In South Africa, at least 11 people have been reported dead and other 75 injured at a platinum mine accident. The spokesman from the mining company Impala Platinum said the incident took place shortly before 5 p.m. local time on Monday at its mine in Rustenburg, northwest of Johannesburg, when the elevator carrying 86 employees to the surface unexpectedly started descending at a height of 200 meters. According to the company's official, the lift rapid descent was stopped by the convenience counterweight becoming trapped by the jack catches. Impala Platinum CEO Nico Mueller informed that all support is being provided to the victim's family and to the injured miners. Russian President Vladimir Putin took part in the World Russian People's Council organized by the Russian Orthodox Church via video link on Tuesday.
They again started the same old song, saying that Russia is a prison of nations. And the Russians themselves are a people of slaves. We have heard this many times over the centuries. We even heard that Russia, as it turns out, needs to be decolonized today. But in fact, what they really need is to dismember and plunder Russia. If it can be done by force, then you need to spread discord. I want to emphasize that we regard any outside intervention, provocation with the aim of causing inter-ethnic or inter-regional religious conflicts as aggressive actions against our country, as an attempt to once again challenge Russia with terrorism and extremism as a tool to fight us, and we will react accordingly.
We have come to the end of this news brief, but before saying goodbye, we want to thank our Caribbean audience, especially the audience of Trinidad and Tobago. We are pleased to share our newscasts and contribute to provide an alternative news source of the latest world events. You can find these and many other stories on our website at TeleSURenglish.net. You can also join us on social media, Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For TeleSUR English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thank you for watching.